Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here at Banknote Trading, where we take a look at the US dollar pairs in the Forex market. Today, we'll start by taking a look at Euro USD on the 4-hour chart, and we'll start by backing out the current range. And as we know, previously it had been in this area of consolidation, started pushing out, making this bullish swing structure A to B leg, with this being the high. Buyers were stepping in, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And then more recently, sellers stepped back in after the news last week. Now starting to break structure to the downside, making this a lower high than this high. But we're all still right back into this area of consolidation. There's liquidity sitting under these lows, but we do have to wait to see if this can return pushing higher. There is strong dollar news today, which puts some DXY higher, which is causing most of the dollar pairs to turn bearish. Overall, the swing structure is bullish, but the internal structure is bearish. Obviously, it's starting to break structure to the downside, break structure bearish. So waiting to see if there's any opportunity once momentum picks up, targeting the highs of this range. But again, since it is just back into this area of consolidation, you have to wait to see if the decision will be made on which direction the price will go. GBP USD, let's go and map out the current range. It's a little bit more bearish, as we saw it broke out just like with Euro USD. And then this news, I think this was FOMC last week. Sellers stepped back in, broke structure to the downside. Again, strong dollar news for employment. And the swing structure A to B price leg is bullish, but started break structure to the downside, making lower highs from this high internally. So internal structure bearish, still breaking down fractally bearish, while internal structure is bullish. And overall, this still is in this range, this being resistance and this area being support. So waiting to see if any momentum can pick up in either direction. If it does break past this lower high, I mean, it's strong. Yeah, this higher low. This is a higher low from these lows. I'll be looking to see if it can retrace back and start targeting the lows of this overall structure. Well, that depends on how strong the dollar is maintaining. As we're speaking about the dollar, this is DXY. So briefly go over. This is also back inside of its was pushing bullish internally. Overall swing structure bearish from this A to B price leg. Started to break structure to the upside, making higher highs. This is a higher low from these lows. Understand that this could have been a liquidity sweep from this previous low. Now we're waiting to see if this can sustain, but technically it's still back into this area of consolidation, with this being resistance, with this being support. This is where price is now, at the equilibrium of this overall range. So waiting to see if momentum can continue to pick up and target, we'll take out these highs and look to see if it can eventually target the highs into the overall range if the momentum sustains. AUD USD, this was a more bullish pair because it was making, it came out of its area of consolidation, making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And of course, broke structure to the downside and broke past this area of demand. Started to make a little push, but now it's breaking structure again to the downside, making this a lower high from these highs. And overall, it's back into its area of consolidation, which we were saying previous weeks, with this being resistance, this being support. But on a micro level, this 4-hour chart, we see that it's breaking down to the downside. So swing structure bullish, fractal structure, internal structure bearish. Just formed this lower high, and it broke structure to the downside. So it could continue. This could be retracing just back into discount. This is, like I said, this was the more bullish pair. It's hitting this area of demand now. You can wait to see if momentum can pick up from here, and then eventually target the highs of the overall range. But right now, just looking for the opportunity if momentum can pick up, because swing structure bullish and internal structure bearish. The NZD USD, let's go map out the current range. This had always been this was the previous range we've been dealing with all week, with this being the swing structure A to B price leg bullish because it took out these highs. But this had always, NZD USD had always been the more bearish of these USD pairs. But as we see internally, the bull stepped in And then once that New Zealand news combined with today's unemployment news with the USD, we can see that this has broken down past the lows of this overall range. Of course, this was the New Zealand economy news that broke structure to the downside, and then it eventually got past this area of demand. Now we can see it did break past these lows. It could be a sweep of these lows, but for now, on a micro level, this is going to be the 4-hour range till we see what price does from here, which is just continuing this overall bearish structure. So waiting to see if this momentum can pick up, price can continue to push down, and wait for any type of retracement, and then look for any type of opportunity to sell when bearish momentum picks up. GBP AUD, let's go map out the current range. This just continues to consolidate. You know, this has been bearish to these lows, price leg bearish, then started break trades to the upside just briefly. There's still liquidity over these highs, but the price never got there, so it's just been really consolidating. Kind of broke trades to the downside, but it hasn't taken out these lows and hasn't targeted the lows of the overall range. Well, that is the low of the range. So really just consolidating in this area, waiting to see if any momentum pick up in the direction to the downside. Because like I said, overall swing structure bearish, and now it is internally bearish as it's starting to break structure. So this is like the lower high from these highs. You can look at it that way, but really just it is just consolidating in this area. GBP NZD, let's go map out the current range. And as you know, we've been watching this retrace back down. It kind of broke structure, did break structure to the downside, got past this area of demand, and then buyer step back up due to the pound gaining more strength over the New Zealand economy. Came back into this area, corrective in nature, kind of formed a bull flag internally, and it broke out. Coming up, taking out the highs of this latest push. This still looks corrective, so I mean, it could just consolidate sideways for a while, but eventually, if bullish momentum continues, then I'll expect it to take out this lower high that formed this overall swing structure and target the highs of this latest push and continue higher, waiting to see if that momentum can pick up. I'll wait for any type of retracement and any type of opportunity to buy and to take prices to higher levels. But like I said, it's looking choppy right now. It could consolidate for a while before it does that, but eventually I would expect it to go ahead and target the highs of the overall range. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining us.